This is the Baseline Facetime Podcast, and we've got another great episode coming at you right now. Let's go.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Baseline Facetime Podcast. I am your host, Manny, with my other co-host, Troy. How are you doing, Troy?
I am doing excellent. You know what episode this is?
This is double digits. This is history right
This
now.
is big time. We're going to be in double digits for a long time, actually.
Well, not that long. I mean, there's triple digits. You can't forget about that.
I know, but that's a long way away. So episode 10 coming at you with the Baseline Facetime Podcast, and we have a pretty cool episode planned today.
We do?
We do. So we have a special guest joining us today from the 6.
Oh, from Canada.
That's right. So we have Carla Portillo joining the show. Carla, say hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. We are on Long Island, and I'm wondering how things are going up there, like virus-wise in Toronto. Like, what's the word?
Honestly, it's not that bad. Our cases have gone down to like less than 100 a day, and we have restrictions. Like it's mandatory to wear masks everywhere indoors. Like, let's see. Only patios are open. No like indoor dining. So like there's still a lot of restrictions. Like even gyms aren't open yet. So, like, they've kept it pretty good here, so
Okay.
Hopefully cases keep going down, yeah.
Good, yeah, I think I saw that the entire country has less cases than the city of Los Angeles, which is pretty impressive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have, obviously, a less of population, but, yeah, I think we just have, like, very strict, we're just trying to keep it pretty good here, so.
You're doing good. So, those of you that don't know, Carla is a professional soccer player. So she's the first professional player we've had on the podcast, Manny.
That's a big moment right there.
It is a big moment, and
I'll take her over Messi any day of the week.
And she is a Raptors fan, which we'll get to in a moment. We'll talk about that later.
She also a Drake fan? I'm curious to know that too.
Drake fan?
Yeah.
He comes from Canada,
to be a Drake
right?
fan.
Oh, there you go.
You kind of do have to. It's like, I feel like that's not a choice. And you're a West Virginia University alumni. So, Carla, I've got my West Virginia t-shirt on as well. Well, one of a few shirts I got. But, so I'm actually from Morgantown, big West Virginia fan, and obviously a big fan of what you were able to do there with the soccer program. And so since leaving there, you have played professionally in France and Italy, correct?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. And so I noticed, one of the big things about watching you play even is there's a clear, passion for the game of soccer. Go figure, as a professional athlete, there's going to be a lot of passion involved. And so just curious as to, how you fell in love with the game of soccer and, kind of where that passion stems from.
Well, I started playing, or, even just kicking the ball around when I was, 3 or 4. My brother played as well, so... And my dad really loved the game, even though he wasn't a professional soccer player, but he loved it, and he just taught us while growing up, and then we both fell in love with it. We both pursued it competitively, and so ever since then we just really, really love the game, and we got to be creative with it. We got to excel in high level, so yeah.
Very cool.
I think my question for Carla would be just how does it feel when people ask you what do you do for a career and you get to say sports? What does that feel to you? That must be exciting.
Yeah, I mean half of me it feels nice. People are oh my gosh, the reactions wow, that's so amazing. You get to travel, you get you're a professional, this kind of stuff. But then half of it, you get some people where they don't think women's sports is women's professional sports is that big, so they're kind of oh, does that pay well, kind of thing. So you kind of get those people, and it's oh. It's a sad reality, but it's kind of a little negative when you tell them that you play professionally.
Okay, very interesting.
That's very interesting because I completely forgot about the whole pay gap and
Yeah,
stuff
so
that. If you're an athlete,
yeah, a lot of people will react oh my god, that's so cool, blah, blah, do you get your own car, do you get this, and all this kind of stuff. But it's kind of completely different from guys at times. So yeah, I try to like
yeah,
be
sure.
like, yeah, it's nice, but yeah.
Definitely. So, one thing I'm curious about, like right now, so what are you doing what's next for you? What season's next? Like, what is training looking like in your home? So you're born and raised around the Toronto area?
Yeah, so I was born in Mississauga in the Port Credit area, so it's just about like 15-20 minutes from downtown without traffic on the good days. So yeah, I'm training at home right now. My new season, I can't say what club yet because it's not official, but I will be moving to Spain in probably the end of August, so I'm training and just staying focused for the next season, just because I didn't really get to play in Italy because of injury, so I'm just excited to like get back on the field and get games in again and just get back to regular training.
I'm curious. You said in Italy you didn't get a chance to play. What did you injure?
It was a mess. They first said it was my MCL, and then like after they said it was a partial ACL tear, but then they kind of handled it. It's kind of tough because that club wasn't as professional. Didn't have the right like facilities and even staff and stuff. So dealing with my injury, I didn't think I was gonna get better. They were like forcing me to play, and then they were like downplaying my injury more, and I knew I wasn't going to get better there, so I knew I had to come back home and to leave that team because it wasn't a professional environment. So I left in the winter transfer window, which was December to January. I came back home. So I only got to play like 1 or 2 games because they like forced me to play with my knee. But yeah, because in the beginning, I could have played in the beginning once I got there, but they took so long with my visa. So I, like, right as I was about to get my visa, I waited like a month and a half into the season, and then I injured myself. So yeah, it was a little rough in Italy. It was a little rough.
Okay, wow. So that's exciting. First off, so congratulations on, the new club you're going to be joining here soon, and, I mean, that's exciting. That's only like a month away. You ready?
Yeah, I am ready. I'm just getting back. Like, it's been like long months getting back to like where I need to be again, and I'm like almost there. So these next couple of weeks, I'm just going to keep training hard, and I think I'll be there again.
Very cool. So what is like, just real short, like what does training look like for you right now? Kind of a day-to-day.
So training with me right now, oh wow, so like I usually train in the mornings. I have a trainer that I'm working with right now as well, like twice a week, and I do other stuff. I have sometimes like friends come and help me out when they want to train too and stuff. So usually train in the morning, rest of the day I have to myself to do other stuff. And so yeah, it's usually just in the morning. Try to get it done in the morning when it's like less hot and there's less people out and stuff like that.
That's true. That's a good attitude. That's a good way of doing it. So I have to get into West Virginia stuff. I just have to. I got to ask you. So we're gonna get into some of your just some of your career notes, your stats, and things like that, and which I am very impressed by. And so in 94 career games at WVU, as a 3-year starter there, so you were a three-time conference champion at West Virginia, which is not to be taken lightly in a power conference like the Big 12.
Yeah.
You were named to the all Big 12 teams every year, and your freshman year as the newcomer team. And something that really blows me away is that in the preseason national top 100s, poll of the top women's players in the country, you were listed at number 24 heading into your senior year. Is that right?
Yeah.
That is phenomenal.
I know, that one shocked me too. I didn't even and it's crazy because like coming from Canada, like we're just so not aware of like how the NCAA works and stuff like that, and that like there's these polls, like coaches poll and like all these other stuff like preseason whatever. And so like I didn't even know about this thing, and then someone told me, and I was like, oh wow. And it was pretty cool because I was like one of maybe like 2 or 3 other Canadians on that and that's like all mostly Americans on that. So that was pretty cool that I thought as well. But yeah, that was sweet.
Definitely, that's a big deal. And then I now remember watching the national championship. I guess your junior year against USC.
Oh God, yeah. Bad memories.
So what was that just journey like? I mean, that's making history at a already historical university in terms of sports. So I mean, that's got to be a great memory, at least making it that far.
Yeah, as much as like I hate to say that we lost in the final and we were that close, it was just so amazing for like women's soccer there at the university. I mean, it was the first time we'd ever gone that far, and just that whole year from like the first game to the last, like it was insane. Like especially that tournament. Like I feel like I remember since this is a basketball podcast too, you guys talk about basketball. I don't know, like when I was watching what was it, 30 for 30 with my brother, and like what's it called again? What's the one, oh my gosh,
like
what's it called?
Recently?
No, it's old. Survive and Advance. Do you know that 30 for 30?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I felt
March
like that's what we
Madness.
were doing.
Oh.
We were just like literally taking game. We'd like, I don't know, the Duke game, I think we like held a lead, and then like UCLA we won in penalties. Like we were just sort of like surviving and advancing, especially for like we were playing against these top teams like UNC. Like we just killed it, and so it was.
I remember
it was
that
just
one.
Crazy feeling. It was just crazy feeling going from game to game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the definition of survive and advance, and so that's not just a basketball tournament. I mean, that's in any NCAA tournament that you see yourself in. It's a lot of, hey, do whatever it takes to get it done kind of thing. And then so, kind of on top of that, like I said, I'm originally from Morgantown, and so I'm just wondering, one, you kind of already noted on it, being from Canada, like how in the world did you end up at West Virginia University? Because especially, again, being a huge sports fan of WVU, that's not exactly like our central recruiting hub, you know what I mean? Like, how did that even happen?
So it's not for most like West Virginia like teams, but for the women's team before me, they got like a lot of Canadian players throughout the years. So I think Nikki Izzo Brown, like because she was familiar with the Canadian players, she kept coming to showcases in Toronto. So when I was playing in club, like we'd have these like U.S. showcases, but in Canada, where obviously universities would come and see us. And so she I think saw me at like 14, and so she was in contact since whenever she could contact me. I don't even remember when it was, but
That's
so
awesome.
like since I was 14, she knew about me, so that was how I made my way over to Morgantown.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. So I'm curious. I have a question for her at least. Do you have any more? Or do you want to go over? No. So my question for Carla would at least be like, when you said that your dad put you onto soccer, so basically, was it love at first sight, or did it have to grow on you?
Wait, sorry, say that again.
When it comes to soccer, basically, did you instantly fall in love with the sport as soon as your dad showed it to you, or was it something that you had to grow a little bit with until you really got into it?
Honestly, I think I just loved it ever since. And like when I was younger, I feel like I had such a competitive edge, and I just had so much fun with it. Like when I was on the field when I was younger, I did not care about anybody. I did not care. Like even at times, like my teammates, like I would be like, sometimes I would be a ball hog, but like I did it well. And I would be scoring goals, I'd be dribbling everyone. I just had this like crazy confidence where I loved scoring, I loved being different, I loved doing the moves my dad showed me, or my Brazilian coach showed me, or my Argentinian coach showed me. Like I just loved it, and so I don't know, I just really, really liked being different and thought I could be like the best player on the field. And I feel like over time I kind of like with coaches and like with situations, I kind of lost that, where like I have to be restricted in certain things I do, or lose like some confidence at times. So yeah, that like when I was young, I was just like a savage. I just wanted to do everything.
There you go.
That's cool. So you said you have a crazy competitive nature about you. So my thing would be, who would be, like, was there any player that you ever went up against that you said, oh, that's going to be a problem, or that's going to give me the most problem, and I have to really get a good night's rest the night before
where
and get ready
they
for
were a
tomorrow's game?
problem?
Yeah.
Where they were a problem? Yeah, like, oh, man, there would be certain teams where, like, they would just be brutally, like, just physical, and they wouldn't even play the game. Like, I remember when I was younger, like, because I had that, like, competitive, like, not, like, caring about anything, there was a lot of teams that hated me. And even the parents would be yelling at me. Like, the parents would yell from the sideline, like, she can't do anything, boo, all this stuff, and, like, oh, man, it was rough. But,
Did you ever play against Pitt?
Yes, we did, but we didn't get, I didn't, like, you know, when the time when I got really bad fans was when we played at Penn State. That was bad. And they just won, they just won the NCAA final at the championship, and they were feeling nice about themselves. So.
Yeah, they must have been. Yeah, I mean, even, you know, now that I kind of think about it a little more, I mean, for the 4 years that you were at WVU, I mean, we had some really, I can say we, because I'm from there. Mm-hmm. We had some really solid programs. I mean, you know, the basketball program made it to several Sweet 16s during that span. The football team had a couple 10-win seasons while you were there. I mean, it had to be a cool feeling to be on campus during that time and to even, you know, be a part of kind of the winning tradition of what's going on.
Yeah, no, it really was. Like, I remember storming the court at times, like, big wins versus in football and stuff. Even if I was away, like, for the weekend traveling, like, I'd still hear about it. I'd go through, like, my Snapchat or, like, whatever social media it was, and I'd see people getting tear gassed because it was the time that we won, or, like, cars, like, you know, all over the place and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, as much as, like, traveling's fun, I kind of wish I was there to celebrate.
I know, right? Classic.
Yeah, I kind of wish I was being tear gassed right now.
Things I never thought you'd say. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get into, so again, we're a basketball podcast, and we got to get into some basketball talk. Is that all right?
Sorry,
the crowd.
Say that again.
I said, since we're a basketball podcast, we got to get into some basketball talk. Is that okay with you?
Yes. Yeah, no, that's perfect.
All right. So, you're a Raptors fan.
Yeah.
You are lucky Manny convinced me to allow you on the show, because I'm a Sixers fan, and I still am very hurt. Very much so.
We're still riding
I think
high
Embiid still
over
feels
here,
it.
so.
I bet you are. I turned my phone off. But I had like 8 calls right after the game, and my phone was off 2 seconds after
funny.
that shot bounced in. After Kawhi traveled, by the way.
Not true.
He was floating in the air.
He traveled. Go on.
Definitely
No,
didn't.
not there. He traveled when he got the ball.
Oh, did he?
Didn't.
For at least 4
I think
5,
that's only Sixers
6
fans
steps.
know that. I think it's only the Sixers
for sure.
fans that know that.
Definitely.
I picked up on it right away.
Oh my god.
Whatever. I know they're not going to call that whatever, but, you know, he palmed the ball. Go look at the tape.
I'll look at the tape.
But
I mean, I don't see
anyway,
it.
so I got to know, because I haven't been able to experience a Sixers championship since I've been alive. What was that feeling like? Were you in Toronto at the time, like when they won it? Like, just give us some insider info, because I don't know any Raptors fans, and I'd love to hear it from your perspective.
Yeah, no, it was insane. Because obviously, you know, like, I mean, you've seen the history of the Raptors. You know, we don't get championships. So it was insane. Like, I feel like for diehard Raptors fan, for Torontonians, for Ontarians, for even anyone in Canada, everyone was so, like, just so hype and so happy. And it was insane in the city for sure. I wasn't out that night in the city downtown, but like all my friends were, and I was home. I was in Mississauga, but like everybody was out. Everyone was just, oh my god, going crazy. I went to the parade though. I did go to the parade, and that was insane.
No way.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
I was
awesome.
there. So I was like near kind of the stage, except it was so naturally, like I said, we don't get championships. So we don't know how to do a championship parade. So literally these guys were getting super drunk on the bus. Like no one was like watching the time.
Wow.
Like, so we were waiting in the square, like, for them to arrive from the bus onto the stage and, you know, give their speeches, all this stuff. We waited like 3 or 4 hours for these guys, maybe 5, like, because they were going, the bus was going so slow, and like, they just didn't care because they were so drunk, they were so happy, and like, we don't know how to, like, you know, okay guys, like, we got to do this, like, schedule, because it was literally like, you know, we don't do this every year. So yes,
that makes sense. I never thought about that.
Yeah, so everyone was really happy, except that day I was a little bit tired. My feet hurt, but I mean, it was worth it, seeing them up on stage, drunk but happy. But no, it was good. It was fun.
That's kind of a piece of Canadian history if you really think about it.
Yeah.
That's the first ever National Basketball Association championship they've ever brought home. So my next thing would be is, how do you feel about Kawhi leaving?
Yeah, so that was sad, but it's actually kind of funny because, like, everybody, like, it was insane. When they were hearing the rumors, like, oh, he's gonna leave. So, like, everyone in the city, everyone, even, you know, Canada, like, we were all just like, what do we do? Like, how do we make him stay? Like, hotels were offering him, like, you know, free nights. There was a thing called here called Kawhi and Dine. And so it was basically a sticker. It was a sticker that restaurants and shops would put on their thing, and it would basically mean Kawhi would, like, eat there for free. Like, he could literally, so there was participating restaurants that are like, yeah, you can come in, eat for free, like, just stay in Toronto, like, he was getting, like, free condos. Like, there are so many people just, like, giving him everything to stay.
Wow.
Yeah, no, so it was hilarious. Yeah, it was hilarious. But I mean,
that is funny.
Yeah.
I can't, like, I mean, but still, even as a Raptors fan, it has to be worth it. Like, the deal that was made to get him, he came, he did what he
did his job. That was what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, like, we can't be mad.
It would have been a lot worse. It would have been a lot worse had they, you know, lost to the Sixers and then he leaves. I mean, they got a championship out of him.
No,
and
that's why we got him, right? And he did what he had to do, and he was like, all right, I'm done. That was my job.
In classic Kawhi fashion.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about their chances this year, and who is, like, your favorite player on the current squad? Is it the little Drake Jr., Fred VanVleet, or is it someone else?
Probably say Lowry, but Drake Jr., that's funny.
Oh, no.
No, we don't like Lowry?
Not Lowry. God. I cannot stand Lowry. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, sorry. Yeah, if COVID didn't happen, we would get a second ship. I'd you know, if it was.
So you don't think they have a chance?
No,
now?
I think they still do, but you know, that was a.
We'll see.
I don't know. We'll see.
It'll be interesting. Yes. I mean, they've played. Yeah, you do. They've played very well. Like, even without him this year. So we'll see if they can keep it up. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Well, I think my last question, at least involving the Toronto Raptors, would be like, how would I say it? I'm trying to think of I'm struggling right now. I had a brain fart.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Neither do I, and I was literally just going on. Wow. Actually, let's get away from that. I'm curious, as like a life as a pro athlete. Since you're going to Spain, what is the most exciting thing about Spain that you're excited to see, or at least, like, are you like a traveler? Are you excited about the food, the language? Like, what are you excited about for Spain?
Yeah, so I should know Spanish. My dad's actually from El Salvador, so like I should naturally just know Spanish, but I don't. So I'm excited to, like, actually be in a country where I can learn Spanish. So I'm excited about that. I've been to Spain before, so I really like the culture there. I like, you know, they're just more like positive people. Like, they're living a good life there. I feel like anyone who I've met from Spain isn't, you know, miserable. They're very happy people, and I'm excited. And I'm just also excited just to be in, like, a professional environment, like, for the soccer side as well. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Very cool.
That's very dope. I'm curious, dude, like, like little girls of like like they're fans of soccer, do they ever come up to you and like say that you're like my favorite player?
Wait, sorry, say that again.
So, like, since you're, like, a professional soccer player and you're playing at such a high level, do, like, little, like, girls who play soccer, do they come up to you and do, like, they say, like, you're my favorite player? Like, has that ever happened to you?
I got that a lot, actually, in West Virginia. Like,
Greatest state in the country.
We did a lot of camps. Sorry?
Greatest state in the country.
Yeah. So
New York's
we
better.
would have like a bunch of camps, and we got to like meet fans a lot, and there would be like little girls that would come. I remember one girl, and I'm like blanking on her name, and I feel so bad because she's probably like my number one fan, but her mom printed out like a West Virginia shirt with my last name on the back with my number, and she showed up to the game, and she was there. It was just so cute. Like, I've just never had a girl like wear my jersey. Like, it was amazing. I was like crying. I'm like, oh my god, I have a fan. So yeah, it's crazy.
Awesome.
Like, yeah, you don't like realize it. Like, you're just playing your sport, but you like there are people that genuinely look up to you, and you're like, how? Like, because you don't think that high of yourself at times. So when like there's little kids that like look up to you, or like, I don't know your stats and stuff like that. It's crazy, and it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah. It's got to be a surreal experience for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So something that I'm like very, very, very curious about is, okay, so born and raised in Canada, obviously a ton of experience soccer there, growing up there, came to the U.S., played at, Division I, a high-level soccer program in West Virginia. And you've played professionally now. I mean, you just turned 24. Happy birthday, belated birthday.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. And then, so since WVU, you've gone on to play professionally in 2 different countries. Now you're going to Spain here in a little over a month. Very exciting time. So just like all of these different cultures, and how do you like just go in, focus on your job, focus on soccer, while also trying to, deal with like your passport and your visa, and like learn the different culture, learn the language, learn how to get along with teammates, build chemistry. Like, how does that happen time and time again? Because clearly it's something you're comfortable with if you've done it time and time again, going to your 5th different country to play soccer. So like, can you just share a little bit about that and how you even find it in yourself, because that can be very overwhelming. Like, how do you do it? Yeah,
it is. Like, now, as I grow older, it gets overwhelming more. I don't know why, but like, I just think it's, I don't know, I get nervous obviously at times, but I'm more comfortable with, leaving home and, being more independent, and at times I do miss home, but it is a culture shock at times. Like, not that I'm not comfortable with it, it's just, sometimes some people in, like, say in the south of France, like, it was nice, people were nice, but then there were times where, like French people weren't as cultured to people who were, like, had darker skin, or, like, was from somewhere else and stuff like that, so I kind of felt like, oh, wow, like, that's how you feel, or, like, even being a female at times, like, they felt this about women, and I'm like, oh, okay, because I grew up in Mississauga near Toronto, and it was very multicultural. Like, I didn't have problems growing up, and then when I moved to the States, there's a little bit of difference, and like, I think every country just has their own differences, and something you just adjust to. You can't really complain, because like, you're there, like, living your dream, like, doing what you love for a job, so you can't really, like, complain. I think, like, at times you want to, but you have to be grateful for the opportunity. But sometimes it does kind of suck with the differences. But yeah, it's just about adjusting, and I think I adapt pretty well to things, so yeah.
You must.
Yeah.
I expected more from France. That's disappointing.
Yeah.
So what about teammates? I mean, this is, I guess, your 3rd or 4th or 5th straight year of, like, kind of a new group of girls, and, coaching and different program in general. Like, how do you build that chemistry?
Yeah, obviously with West Virginia, like, it was, you spend 4 years, so you build, like, a huge, like, family environment. So, like, like, people I met are, like, my best friends and stuff like that. But when you move from team to team, especially in Europe, it's different. Like, with my French club, it wasn't as tight-knit, and, like, it was a little, it wasn't that, like, positive with, like, the chemistry-wise. But in Italy, they were super close. Like, they hung out all the time. Like, they were very close. And then they treated me super close, too. Like, they invited me to things. So it was kind of like that, which I liked. So it really just depends on team and, like, even countries and, like, the city. Like, it just really just depends. There's only so much you could do to, like, you know, try to join in on the group. But it just depends on the players, on if they want to be close and if they don't want to be close. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. So I'm curious, too. What is the difference between the professional level and, Troy, help me out here. What would you say?
So, yeah, just like playing at the professional level, playing at WVU, just like, I mean, obviously, you're a better player, you know, than you were 2 years ago. And, like, you know...
Wait, sorry. Could you, like, repeat that question? Sorry, can you repeat the question? Because it just cut out.
Okay, yeah. How different is the game at the professional level versus what it was at WVU? And, like, how much of a better player are you? And, like, you know, the training involved, the practices. Like, I mean, this is your career now, you know what I mean? It's obviously different than having to go to classes between two-a-days. So, like, what is that like? Like, how is it different?
Yeah, I'd say lifestyle is different, obviously, because, like, you're not juggling school, you're not juggling, you know, friends, like you see all the time, like, stuff like that. It's different from being, like, a student athlete. But with soccer-wise, like, it sucks to say, but I think for certain girls or women that are playing abroad, it can be really hit or miss with your club. Like, some clubs, even if they're in the first division or the second division, they're not as professional, and they don't have the facilities, they don't have the funding. And so, like, West Virginia, like an NCAA school, like, who has a lot of money, you know, we had all the stuff to make us better players, all the technologies, all that good stuff. But, like, going abroad, it really is, like, kind of hit or miss, unless you're going to a professional club or that even has a men's side to provide money for the women's side, stuff like that. So, like, there could be times, like, where I find the level wasn't as good as it was back at school, or, like, it wasn't as professional and stuff like that. So it's kind of sad, even though, like, some clubs are, some clubs aren't. So it's pretty sad for women's sports, but it is getting better. And yeah, it really just depends what club you're at. But yeah, at times it's better at school.
Yep. Yeah, I never thought about that. I mean, obviously WVU, a school like that, I mean, has the facilities, has, you know, everything you're gonna need training wise, and, you know, just to develop your game and to get better. So yeah, that's very true. Okay. Well, I think that's all we've got, unless you got anything else.
Favorite Drake song?
What's my favorite Drake song?
Yep.
Well, right now I like, you know, Pop Star and Grease, because you just came out with it. But favorite Drake song, I'd honestly probably do anything from Take Care, because that was my favorite album by him. So
solid album.
That's a solid Drake album.
Yeah, anything, like
solid
any sad song from that, yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. Anyway, well, that's all we've got. Thank you so much for coming on the Baseline Facetime Podcast. I don't know if you know this, but you are now an official baseliner, which is cool.
Yay!
And so we'll definitely have you on again sometime if you'll join us. You know, maybe we'll catch up with you over in Spain. Very excited about, you know, what's coming next for you. Again, congratulations on, you know, this contract signing coming up.
Thank you.
And you know, we're wishing you the best over there.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You got it. All right.
Anytime.
Of course. We will talk to you soon. Stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you later.
You too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a whole wrap. So basically, we'll see you guys later.
We'll see you later. Thanks for joining us on this episode. Episode 10, double digits.
10, buddy.
We made it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the Baseline Facetime Podcast this episode. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe.